beer.
3.
Just
All
go
right.
get the beer.
Just
Get the
go.
beer.
Go.
Just go get the beer. Just go get the beer.
No beer.
Oh, come on. There, yeah.
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a podcast designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. Whatever kind of LeChump or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate. We even think you Drifto Hella Flush guys are all right, as long as you
Because
build
your
it
audio equipment
and
works.
drive it hard. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low buck racing, and if you can handle it, Chrissy will give you just the tip. I'll be your pit marshal. My name is Jeff. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
I'm mental.
Yay.
Jeff, you're reading it this
Oh,
week.
that was me. Jeff says, and every...
17
We were
episodes.
so close!
17 episodes, and we haven't gotten that right one single damn
No,
time.
we did once.
Go ahead. Okay.
No, I think
16
we
other
recorded
times.
I think we recorded over that one.
Oh, good.
Okay, Jeff, go.
And we
go.
lost Jeff. Okay, so no problem. We're going to keep rolling
Okay,
on and rolling
so-
on.
Welcome to episode 17, folks. This has been, from an electronics and equipment standpoint, beyond painful. As Chrissy said, the longest 45 minutes of her life, and she did 2 or 3 Babe rallies. So let's
Or
just
5.
bust out 5 Babe rallies. Let's just start with what you working on, Chris.
I'm working on kitchen stuff. Mostly we removed the soffit above the cabinets and the cabinets on
And the-
that wall, too. The wall where the fridge and the stove were.
Yeah.
Got a fridge water line run in the new location, and done a lot of research on hardwood flooring and hood range vents and things like that. So it's been very
range
exciting.
vent.
Oh,
Very
Jeff's
nice.
back.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah, I'm
Nice to have
here.
you back,
I'm here.
Jeff.
Sorry.
Cool,
Good.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, all just kitchen stuff, and that's been a good time.
Chrissy.
All house stuff all the time. So I did a little bit of putting Christmas stuff away, but I've been definitely helping Chris with the fixing. I'm calling myself the master floor staple remover because we took up some linoleum. We took out about 100, 200 staples.
All
In
the,
a,
stuff,
Oh,
the stuff that's in the Luann plywood underneath. It's so terrible. Yeah.
that makes my
Did that.
feet bleed thinking about it.
oh, no, we did a good job taking it up, so it's all good. We were wearing flip-flops, but, safety flip-flops, something like that.
Yep.
Safety third.
No. And we did move the massive fridge. So the 900-pound fridge, we moved it from one side of the kitchen to the other.
Not kidding. It's actually 900 pounds when it's full.
It is a
You
huge
guys-
fridge.
It's bigger than your race car.
Just about.
And it's much
And
harder
heavier.
to move. Yeah, it's much harder to move than the race car. It really is.
The race car.
It's so
Yeah.
nice, though.
Jeff,
is
it
nice.
looks like you've had some janky house problems.
Yeah, we could talk about some house problems. I had a heater leaking water in my attic through a ceiling fan and right onto the feet of my bed, much to the chagrin of my wife, who was sitting under an electric blanket at the time.
Oh, no.
That's a good combination.
She claims she heard it go bzz, 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 but I don't think that's possible. I just so I was at 2 a.m. climbing in my attic.
Hey, the
filled
tingle
with
lets you know it's working.
fiberglass. Yeah, exactly. That was all taken care of. We had a frozen pipe in our house, the same pipe that got froze a couple of years ago, and I thought I'd insulated it enough. So we're going to be working on that. I got some gas smell in my car from getting gas from the for the snow blower, so I'm getting a little woozy every time I drive to work. But none of that matters because none of that has anything to do with cars. I actually did a lot of car stuff this week.
Let's hear it.
So I mentioned on the podcast, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, that my father, the craziest 70-year-old on the planet who does all those rally racing, rally stuff, TSD rallying, not STD rallying, blew
totally
his
different.
clutch.
It's really
Especially when you're 70.
You can rally STDs. I think they call that a flare up.
That's
Oh,
right.
God.
So he does all those TSD rallies. He blew the clutch for the second time in 110,000 miles in his Mazda 3, but we had talked on the podcast about it's probably just the master cylinder or the slave cylinder because he had no pedal action. Well, it turns out that according to the transmission place that he went to and got it fixed without really talking to me, he got a wet clutch from the main seal. It blew apart. it broke the nose cover of his transmission. So he needed a resurfaced flywheel, clutch, pressure plate, and chunk of transmission, throughout bearing, et cetera, and so forth.
Oh, no.
That happened to an Arc 7 once. That is not fun.
Now, they claimed, quote, you have a Mazda 3 a GT or S or something like that. So that has a different clutch, and they're all bad. So this isn't our fault, even though we did this a year and a half ago.
Time to call the strong arm on that one. That's a load of crap.
If you knew it was bad in the first place, why'd you put it in?
No, they didn't know it was bad, but they're all bad.
If they're all bad, then you knew it was bad.
They put in a bad product.
Somehow,
Jeff,
all our other Mazda 3s.
My Mazda 3 has 130,000 miles and hasn't gone through a clutch yet. My father has gone through 2 and 110.
What year is his car?
Same as mine, 12.
12, okay.
And both are Sky Actives, so are a little different.
Both are Sky Actives, but I don't know. It's all bogus. It's all BS. I'll not say both words so we don't get the little E.
We always have the E.
This is the secondary parent car issue I have. It seems that a relative of mine who will remain nameless has a son who will remain nameless who got a driver's license in December, totaled my mother's Saturn View.
No!
To be fair, a 5-mile-an-hour parking lot pump would probably total the Saturn View, but...
True. Very true.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. It was
that's how you lose favored grandson status.
Yes. A left turn where he swears he had the left turn arrow, and so do the 2 teenagers who were in the car with him. Even though in the state of New Jersey, he was not supposed to have 2 underage people in his car at the same time because he's on some kind of provisional license.
And furthermore, you can't turn left in New Jersey. Everybody knows that.
I know. I don't know what's going on. So I have been doing tons of research into what cars can be flat-towed behind RVs.
Honda CR-V.
Current generation Honda CR-Vs cannot be towed in automatic transmission.
Last generation. But, can get a lately used one.
That's what we're
RAV4.
discussing. RAV4 never on the list. Nope. So I'll say real quickly, we're down to small GMs, like the Traverse.
Equinox.
The Equinox.
The Traverse is not a small GM. That is a mid to full size.
I actually meant Equinox. The Equinox.
Okay.
Or there is a new teeny little Buick called
the Encore.
No,
okay, yeah. But it's a European-based SUV.
No,
it's
Chinese.
The Envision is actually made in China.
In China, yes. It's 300 more pounds than the Equinox. So I think I'm probably going to suggest either the Equinox or just stop trying to drive a car and go get a Jeep Patriot.
Just get Jeep Patriot is a car still. Just get a slightly used Honda CR-V. It is.
Well, actually, that's what I'm telling you. If you go used, you can actually get a previous generation Forester, which flat tows excellent.
Current is available in a stick shift.
He can't have stick. It's my mom's car.
Honda CR-V. It's just the best one of all of those cute.
Yeah. No, I agree. But you got to go back to 2012.
The Forester's not bad though. The Forester's a good truck.
Well,
our car
Subaru interiors are always crappy. And
who
I still don't trust their head gaskets.
They're old. You trust their head gaskets racing, but they're fine just putting around.
Yeah. They had the Saturn, and they really like the Saturn, so that's why I'm kind of slanting towards GM.
Honda CR-V.
I agree, but then they got to get a 5-year-old one, because you got to get them previous to 2012.
Yes, Chrissy.
I actually didn't. I knew about the situation with the grandson. Sorry. But I heard about it because we were one of the first to get the call. But I saw you post this on Facebook, and I did not know why you were asking this. So I'm glad to know, because I was like, why are you trying to flat tow random cars? But now I'm glad I know.
He's the world's worst car thief. He uses an RV to steal cars.
That's right.
He didn't say anything about an RV. He just said, I need to flat tow something.
Yeah. And it was
now
I know.
Yeah, it was the Subaru Forester. It seems that the Subaru Forester, since they went to the CVT transmission, cannot be towed with a CVT. Not that
CVTs
anybody
are the problem in general.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
is no.
agree.
The only good application for CVTs is scooters. Period. Dot.
Yeah, I will say that my wife has the 15 Forester, and that CVT gets fantastic gas mileage. I was a total skeptic when we bought it, but she wanted to have the Subaru. We bought it, and I hate driving it. I hate the way it feels. It feels like a rubber band, but damn if that thing don't get like 30 miles per gallon.
It's like
My car
dad-
gets great mileage if I push it off a cliff too. I'm not going to do it.
Now, my dad's Accord has a CVT too, and they get ridiculous fuel economy, but yeah, and Honda's CVT is a little better than Subaru's still, but anyway.
But
Yeah.
that's the only good thing about your Subaru, though.
Citrione better.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, anyway,
Citroen.
all these things are
So-
terrible. Don't buy any of those. Just buy a Mazda CX-5 and don't worry about towing it behind the RV. Okay.
Right.
Next.
How do you really feel, Chris?
No, I say I haven't got to what I'm working on. We're too busy fussing about what Jeff didn't get done this
Right.
week, and trying to electrocute his wife.
Oh.
And honestly, that electric blanket with the water on it, I bought something like that, but it was an ab workout machine that I saw in an infomercial at 2 a.m. one time, and basically electrocutes your abs so you get like a 6-pack.
Is that a tens machine? Mental, what are you working on?
Pretty
All
much
right, so-
it sounds.
Finally got the new front tire for the VFR because it's riding season down here in Georgia, and I'm working on my summer. I'm working on my summer racing and instructing schedule, and didn't put this on the notes, but I finally got the new front end painted and mounted onto the Mercedes, so I don't look like an idiot driving around a dinged up Mercedes.
That's nice.
And when I got it all painted and clear coated and mounted on there, I came up with a new phrase because it's better than it was, but you can't say Citrione better.
Citroen. Citroen.
Because that's a mediocre improvement on a mediocre status, and I kind of realized it's Datsun truck better, which means that
Oh, that's bad.
it's a phenomenal improvement on a really bad thing, but it's probably going to catch fire. So
Sure.
so it's Datsun truck better.
Throw a rod? Like, there's nothing good
Well, no,
about
no.
the.
It's
the
not
truck.
throwing a rod. If you remember Barber, the first time we had it out, and we were fussing with the carb,
I was there.
And Chris got into the truck and he goes, "Hey, it's running really, really good. So good, in fact, that when I tried to flat through it through the kink, I ended up in the gravel. I'm waiting on the truck to come get me." And then the truck flat toes him in, and we popped the hood, and I screamed, "Chris, get out of the truck now!" Because it was dumping fuel onto the exhaust manifold.
I don't think I've ever moved that fast in my life, but I was very pleased. This
It was
is
a
actually,
really good test.
This is
Yeah.
racing. This is really race specific. Have a test like this and see how you do, because I instinctively reached over, hit the kill switch with my right hand while undoing my belts with the left hand, opened the
And
door,
fell
and then
out
promptly
the door.
fell out very gracefully.
fall
But
out.
I got out real quick.
You got out of the truck so fast that the safety guys came over and wanted to see if there was a problem because they thought the
going
truck
on?
was actually on fire. And it didn't catch fire, but I didn't want you in the truck when it, or if it did.
I kind of wish it had.
We'd all be better off.
So, yeah, so
All
my
right.
Mercedes is Datsun truck better.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
News and notes. Let's move on.
how much time did we waste on that? Because it was supposed to be 15 minutes.
You know, we're
not-
only at 13:25, so we're
Oh,
right on
sweet.
Hey, we're
target.
doing
There you
good.
go. All right. So news and notes. In August, if you guys remember, and I'm sure you don't, the Discovery Network agreed to buy the Enthusiast Network, which is guys that bring us Roadkill and Motor Trend and all that other kind of crap. And they're also Velocity, MotorTrend.com, all that sort of stuff. And all right, pull back or go
No,
forward.
when you turn your head mental, we can't.
Okay,
you
sorry.
Yeah, keep your mouth in front of your mic.
So Motor Trend On Demand, they got the complete automotive portfolio of all their digital media, all that live events. But the big deal is last Friday, a number of the entertainment networks employees were greeted by security guards who said, "Clean out your desk, you've been fired."
Oh.
Yeah, which
Really?
is it's a dick move, and it's a crappy way to start off the new year. But the bad part of that is there's no more Roadkill magazine.
Get out.
Yeah,
I know
which
they had a magazine.
it wasn't a bad magazine at all. It really
Like
good
print.
photography.
They went to print.
Like they had Roadkill print magazine, and they covered lemons. And now I think they still have the roadkill.com website, but Eric Rude writes for them, and he'd written some good stuff and some good write-ups about lemons and some interesting stuff about the car. So it's just a shame because Roadkill magazine was a good magazine, and now it's gone. In other news, Scott Pruitt, who is one of my childhood heroes, is retiring. This will be his last Daytona. After this one, he's done. He's walking away from it. And this one will certainly spurn some debate among our safety-minded folks here. American Endurance Racing is banning funnels for refueling this year. And that had a nice big controversial discussion on their Facebook page. And it's in their rules, no funnels.
I saw that. But it's only no funnels for fueling the car in the hot pit.
Right.
You can still use funnels in the paddock between can to can and stuff like that.
Right,
well,
right. But
I guess that makes sense because if you're having with a funnel, then obviously you have a different problem that's causing gas to spill that you need a way to catch it to get it into the tank. Where if it were getting properly channeled through a tube into the tank, you don't need a funnel.
And we've done so much work on all of our we have so many different types of hoses, and like Bruce runs one kind, or truck runs one kind, the Honda runs a different kind. Shouldn't there be an option? Shouldn't you be able to figure it out without a funnel?
Yeah, you totally should.
But they're the first ones to ban it. We've watched other Lemons teams use funnels.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through. Like, I'm surprised of all the things that are safety issues with AER and pit stops and fueling. This is the thing they decided to go after, as opposed to the woman in street clothes handing the
no, she was in a tank. She was in a tank top.
Yes, even better. That's a safety tank top.
That's
SFI.
Street clothes. Like, he meant not a race suit.
It was an asbestos tank top. It's fine.
It's SFI rated. But, handing those
no, it's not.
To the guy who's actually doing the fueling in full fire gear, all of 3 feet away from the car. That's safe.
She's not getting out.
But a funnel? Nope. Can't have that.
Big piece of plastic that has gas.
But
on
it, and I would think this is maybe something Lemons should talk about, because there's a lot of janky refueling going on in the pits with funnels and Lemons. I mean, luckily it takes them 30 minutes. So I guess
at least they keep anyone that might get hurt far, far away.
Yes, that's true, because
They monitor their pits very tight, and everyone has to be in full gear to be there.
Like you have your visor
to go into
up?
the hot pits. Yeah, you cross through the fence. That's legit.
You have your visor up, they're going to yell at you, just for that. So
yeah, with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth. Gary Beer, dangerous.
Only that guy.
But blowing the whistle from 1,000 yards. Yo, put your stuff
right.
on.
And you're like, oh wait, who's wrong? Who's at fault here?
And you say, sorry, Dale.
Sorry, Dale.
I can't hear you over the sound of my car on fire.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen unless it's a truck.
Unless it's the truck did not catch fire, it just exploded.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Chrissy, I see you got a story. Why don't you go to it?
I do. Yeah, I found a good article from GRM. It was online, and it was talking about the value of instruction. Thought it was pretty interesting. It was really long. I think I read most of it, but it was a quote from it was, "Worried that private coaching is only for the rich and famous. Most racers wouldn't hesitate to spend $1,000 on a set of tires to get some lap times down. So why wouldn't you do some?" Spend the similar amount, typically less, for a day of coaching. So this article was talking about one guy was just rented one other guy to teach him how to do things. They did a lot of telemetry. They did a lot of, all of the different things that private instruction offers. And it was really interesting. They put a lot of value to it, and the guy dropped his times immensely, but looked at all of his initial lap with telemetry, and then he was basically right on the ball with the instructor after it was done with, and it was just a day. So it's interesting. We keep talking about the value of instruction, and GRM did a nice thing on that. So maybe we'll post that to the Facebook. But we've been talking about it, and we find a lot of value in it. Chris does it. I find a lot of value in it. So we should reconsider. And if you haven't done it, do it again.
Yeah, I think that was a part of a print thing that appeared 6-8 months ago, or 6-8 issues ago. I remember reading something of it. Maybe it's the same thing. I'll have to check it out.
Okay.
I think definitely in the future we need to do some episodes on instruction and being instructed, because certainly I've seen such huge, amazing differences in students over the course of a weekend, or even with some of you fools, like in the course of 20 minutes, Jeff.
Absolutely.
And it's hugely valuable. Even I really actually am dying to get some instruction, and I find it really hard to get at this point. And at the level I'm at, I really have to hire a professional coach to be able to do it. And it's just having a track that will have it and available, and that I can do it with an instructor who might not be from that venue. Who knows? But it's difficult.
Yeah. I agree. We should definitely look into it.
Okay.
Cool. So I posted up a story here. Both WRL and AER in the last 2 or 3 weeks have opened the registration for their year's events.
Yep.
I know they are both on my Facebook feed, so I'm sure Lucky Dog and a few of the other ones out on the West Coast, but these are the only 2 on my Facebook feed. Interesting thing on WRL, if you register by the 15th of January, you get 10% off of all of your events that you register for. So get on that if you're looking to go to, they're going to a lot of good places, Daytona, Barber, NCM Full, Road America.
NCM Full.
NCM Full.
They're going to
NOLA.
COA.
And COA is at their championship at the end of the year. They all vary in length. There is a full 24 hours at High Plains and a single 14-hour at Daytona. And for you Spec Miata folks out there, they are doing some sort of Super Miata series. I read it briefly. It seemed pretty cool. It's basically like a place that you can run all of your Spec Miatas, no matter which version, against each other and some other kinds of Miatas. They're kind of a super group of Miatas.
Yeah, that Aero article we talked about last week about the guys doing the Aero, that's a Super Miata.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then I just want to mention that AER also has theirs up. It's not as many events as WRL, but the Glen, Road Atlanta, NGMP, Mid-Ohio, NCM, and a place called Califrickin' Boogie. I have no idea where that is.
It's in Canada,
It's kind of redneck.
No,
must be with you.
It's in Canada.
Canada.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
There's rednecks in Canada.
Don't
we
you know?
Some of them. Oh, yeah. Hey.
Not sure what I'm not sure what the name is all about, but hey.
I'll actually when Road and Track and Friends come here to Road Atlanta, I'm not driving, but I'm going to be working with those guys.
There you go.
For that AER race.
Awesome. Listener feedback. Who's got some listener feedback?
So we only have a little bit of listener feedback. We posted up some new resolutions. Hopefully everybody that listened had something that they are doing something. They just didn't post and tell us. But
hopefully it wasn't not listen to our podcast anymore.
No, not that
Not
at
that
all.
I'd blame them, but you know.
No. Well, the production is questionable.
Hey, it's Datsun truck better.
Matt F. said he's going to be trying to less of an not a nice man than last year.
So you can say butthole. We can say butthole.
Okay.
Shiny,
but he
happy person.
Shiny, happy person.
But he already
GRM
busted.
shout out there, buddy. Yep.
But better than that, we have Rob K., who is a freshman Lemons racer and former meteorologist, told us all about the cyclone bomb thing because we were all trying to make up what we thought that was. But actually, it's a low-pressure drop and at least 24 millibars in 24 hours. So we learned something. But more importantly, he said that the podcast is super informative and insanely reaffirming for someone who just started out.
And the reason I'm sure he's saying that is because we sound so incredibly incompetent that if we can manage to race and be as moderately successful as we have.
That's what we say. Everyone racers, including us.
Not moderately successful, national friggin' champions.
That's right.
Like I said, if we can be national champions as completely incompetent and ridiculous as we are, he's like, well, anybody can do this.
Any clown can do this.
Yeah. I'd just like to say, Rob K, your check is in the mail. Please see us at the next race for some snickerdoodles.
Yeah.
Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles.
Hey, you know what? You know who makes really, really good snickerdoodles?
Chrissy's mom. That's right.
What?
Okay, Chrissy's mom. Main topic time. Who's going to start us up? We're talking about winter gear storage today.
Yeah,
We've touched on our vehicles, but in a deeper sense, what do you do with your gear? Chris started us up.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff that comes with racing. You've got a gear that ranges from water bottles to fuel bottles to tires to you name it. And you got to do something with it all in the winter when you're not racing. So first off, tires. They're big. They're expensive. You need to get them inside. You can't leave them on the car for the winter if you actually care and want to try them again. Because as they're outside, they're going to be subject to a lot of temperature changes. So you're essentially putting a whole bunch of heat cycles on them. And most of the good performance tires, the manufacturers are really concerned about being cold and having them flex when they're cold. So you want to get them off the car. You want them in a stable, temperature-stable environment, away from UV as well. So what we usually do is put them in big trash bags, put them in the basement. Basement's pretty stable temperature, so that keep them away from the cycles, away from the UV. What's up, Metal?
Well, and in something I didn't know until I started hanging out with you guys, and I actually learned it from the senior Wakeman, is that concrete will suck the moisture out of a tire and dry crack them. And I learned that from their RV stuff. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So even if you're pulling them off the car, if you throw them down in your basement and they're not wrapped in plastic, you're asking for trouble.
So or at least put them on a piece of wood or something like that. All right, so fuel jugs, clean them out, get them empty. If you can, if they're in a clean environment, leave the tops off so they really dry out nicely over the winter. Just you don't want them having the fumes around if you can. Tools. We have separate toolboxes for races. We try to clean up all the tools so they're not sitting greasy and gross in the toolbox all winter, just getting funked. Everything just is ready to go that way next time you race. If you have spare motors and transmissions, give them a turn with a wrench before the winter. Like once a year, twice a year, just give them a turn so they don't seize up. If you feel like putting some fogging oil or something in too, that's a nice another trick to keep those cylinder walls from rusting up. Chrissy.
Are you talking a spare motor like the 7 that we have in our garage, or or does it have to be in like some kind of form? Like what is?
I meant like actual whole motors. Like so, yes. Well, we have the one that was in the old Wago van that is. I don't really care about turning that because it's going to come apart.
Jeff, did you hear how passive aggressive that was? I felt that down here in Georgia.
We had 7 motors.
That was a cyclone bomb of passive aggressiveness.
We only have 2 motors in the garage. We have that one red Honda motor, and then we have the Miata motor that's sitting in the corner that I haven't turned in a long time. I need to turn that because that only has like 40,000 miles on it. So I should turn that. The other motors we have are in the basement. They're engine blocks. We have the Alpha V6 engine block, and we have the now destroyed engine block from the Civic. So definitely not 7.
Okay, that was the first number that came to mind. We have a lot of motors.
Answer the passive aggressiveness with lawyer ball. There are only 2 engines in the garage. The others are in the basement.
That's right.
They're not full engines. They're just engine blocks.
Right?
Well, that's what I wanted to
that exact same answer to Vicky. No, I only have 2 motorcycles in the garage. One is in the attic.
That's right.
And one's a scooter. It's not a motorcycle.
And speaking of scooters, we have to store our scooter over the winter. Scooty needs to be kept clean and stay safe. So Scooty gets some fuel stabilizer, gets the battery disconnected, and is in the storage garage right now between the Citroen and the MG.
You know what my scooter gets?
Nothing.
Ridden.
Well, that's also why you. How many carburetors have you replaced on that mental?
Yeah, I know. Seriously, I have an alert in my phone. It comes up every Wednesday. It says start the scooter, ride it around the block because I'm not doing that again.
Okay. And lastly, race gear. You got all this gear that you wear. It's very expensive, and you want it to be in good shape. And you don't, if your last race is
Jeff, you don't want it to smell.
Yeah. If your last race is a hot, sweaty one, and you stuffed it,
wash it.
You stuffed it in your bag after you got out of the car at the end of the day, and it left it there for 6 months. How do you think it's going to be when you get it out?
You're not going to race your best if that's how you smell.
Right. If you're offended by yourself when you're in the car, it's not.
This is Jeff. Jeff, I think, was offended by himself.
Well,
I was.
When your replacement driver, you guys are like running a second. Your replacement driver goes, "Hang on, just let it air out for a second." No, we're good.
I was shocked myself at how bad it smelled. I totally agree.
So what we usually do.
It was a one-race thing. It was a one-race issue.
We flip them inside out. Make sure you swish all the Velcro together so it's not hitting other things. It's not sticking on other things. Get the zippers up tight. Wash them in
dog hair and cat hair.
Yep. Wash them in the delicate cycle with Woolite is what we usually do. Then hang them up to dry once they're flipped back the regular way, and then put them in a dark space to sit for the winter so they're not, again, getting faded and UV degradation over the winter.
The same place where we put our hopes and dreams of having a successful life before we suffered from our racing addiction.
In a dark closet.
Or, our closet up in our second bedroom.
And last thing, put some dryer sheets in your helmets. They make them smell fresh and clean.
All right, so I'm going to jump in here real quick just to add something. I bought these little things called Stinkies at the...
That's the problem.
Sneaker store.
That's what happened.
No. They are little sewn bags. They look like little versions of like cornhole bags, and they're filled with baking soda, and they're designed to be thrown into like stinky shoes and sneakers to take the smell out of them. So I have 2 of those. They live in my gear bag, and one goes in my helmet and one goes in my shoes every time.
That's pretty cool.
Just one shoe?
So that's why your
So
suit
you need
smells.
just the one.
It doesn't want to stinky.
You pick one shoe?
No, actually, I have
the clutch shoe.
I have several of them.
Light and airy.
Okay, you just said you have 2.
If it's the accelerator shoe, he just wants to keep it as far away from it as possible. It helps him go faster.
I actually sometimes get him in the shoes, sometimes get him in the helmet, depending. So
okay.
Okay.
Mental. What do you all do there in the South?
So down here, and actually in some of the areas up there where you guys are, we have critter infestations down here. So it gets a little chilly outside, and them cute little woodland creatures want to move into your areas. So and we're talking about toolboxes and storage and stuff like that. So is you get deer mice are a big thing, and then just regular mice, and then in really bad areas you can get rats or even rabbits, and these are all problems. Now, one of the things deer mice will do, if you keep bird seed or you buy like the big 100-pound bag of cat food or dog food or something like that, they will rip open the bag, or even if it's in Tupperware, they'll chew through the Tupperware, and then they go and they hoard it. And at Barber a couple of years ago, I think the race that the three of us were at is some guys bought a spare motor out of somebody's garage, threw it in the car, and nothing worked on it. And they pulled the cylinder heads off, and the cylinders were full of dog food because these mice had been running down the intake runners and storing dog food in there. So
hold on a minute. Pictures or it didn't happen. I must see this. It
was in the Lemons wrap-up video. I'm pretty sure it was at Barber. But so yeah,
I was trying to figure out where you're going with this. I was like, this is okay.
So if you keep birdseed or that kind of stuff, get it away from where you keep your tools, where you keep your spare parts, that sort of thing, because you're asking for trouble with critters. Chris, you got something on that?
Well, to help with critters, anywhere you don't want them to go, like perhaps in a throttle body or exhaust manifold, steel wool.
Yes.
And mice don't want it, can't chew through steel wool. It hurts their teeth to bite through the metal, so that's a good deterrent.
Have you asked them?
I had a little interview actually with one day. It was a very intimate setting. It was nice.
I just want to mention that's not me. That's Mental making that noise. Sounds eerily similar to my actual voice. So,
if you get some of the larger critters, they will push it out of the way. But and we'll talk about steel wool is a good one. Steel mesh over. You can kind of wrap it over some of the intake bits. They like to get into boxes and tools, and so you cleaned all your tools up, you put them in there, and then Mr. Rat and his family decide they're going to move into the socket section. So you want to keep all these guys away from your storage shed, your garage, your basement, that sort of thing. So keep any sort of food stuff that they want out of the same areas you don't want them to move into. You're looking for droppings. You're down there doing that engine turn, make sure everything's not rusting up on you, checking on your stinkies and your shoes. Look for droppings, because if you see droppings of one of the
stinkies are inside.
Yeah, if you see one of the woodland creatures droppings, you can bet you've probably got about 10 of them running around. Now they'll get into all kinds of plastic and that sort of stuff. One of the easiest solutions is mothballs. You can put them in a mesh bag or an old nylon stocking. There was there's a great link on Instructables, and literally kind of hang them up the wall. They don't like the smell. Peppermint or wintergreen oil. You take cotton balls, get some oil on them, throw those around there, and then they even sell powdered urine. And if you're really, really kind of gross, use cat litter, because mice don't like that sort of thing.
Use cat litter
because it smells like cat pee, and where there's cat pee, there's a cat. And
we have some if you want some, Jack.
No, I'm good. Okay, I'm all right.
But if you're not that gross, Pine Sol, Irish Spring, stuff with strong red pepper, stuff with.
Yeah, we've done that. We used cayenne to keep. We had a cat that was around, and our cats were getting upset by it. We did cayenne. We bought a vat of it on eBay or online or something, and put it all over the house.
Yeah, and now here's the thing. So if you're putting pepper on engine parts or tools, maybe put a sticky note on there to warn you. Because then, come springtime, you're giving that engine a turn. You're down there, it's kind of dusty. You go to rub your eye. Yeah, it doesn't get any fun from there.
Or worse, your testicles.
The tingle lets you know it's working.
Does it keep the cats away?
I've never tried.
Oh, please. Okay. Mental, please finish us up. Oh, my gosh. What else you got on your list?
If you've
Before
got
this degrades any further.
If you've got a shed or you got a garage, outside of there, you don't want any hiding places for these guys, particularly rabbits and your larger rats. So cut back all your hedges. Don't give them a place to hide next to your garage, which gets them a chance to start gnawing their way in there. And this is the other thing about those folks that are want to do humane stuff. You catch the little field mouse or little deer mice, and they're obnoxiously cute. You want to relocate them. It doesn't work. They're coming back. So either get a cat that's going to deal the lethal blow, or get rid of them permanently. And I hate to sound grotesque about that, but if they're in and you relocate them, they're coming back. They'll find their way home.
Unless you bring them far enough away.
Glue traps are your friend. They'll
glue
send
trap?
them really far
You
away.
don't need glue traps.
Yeah.
You just get those. Really, the old-fashioned mouse traps really actually do work great. That's why.
Oh,
That's
the
a
big
whole,
snappy
Spring
kind.
loaded.
Yeah.
That's why it's a whole
even
saying,
the
'cause it
little
ki-
snappy kind. Yeah.
That's why there's a saying: build a better mousetrap. The glue ones, they just sit there in agony and gnaw their own feet off, and that's a sad way. But the snappy ones, it just breaks their neck and they're gone. Just put a little peanut butter on there, bend it so you get a hair trigger, boom, dead. Next.
Yeah.
This took a turn. I don't like it.
Well, I'll turn it a different way. Hey, Mensa, I like your idea about
Yeah,
trimming
you know-
the hedges.
Yes.
I hear that if you trim the hedges, the tree looks taller.
Again, taking a turn. This is
I-
not good.
So I've been told. I don't suffer from this problem. So, and then the fun thing is, if you do find out that you've got critters in there, you're going to have to devote some time, and you're going to have to find out where they're getting in. Because if one's getting in through a corner or a hole in the foundation or a bad seal on a door, that means a bunch of them are getting in, and you're going to have to keep setting traps by that entrance until those traps stop filling with critters. It's a hardcore way to say things, but that's what it's going to come down to. So keep your equipment safe, keep critters out of it. Jeff?
Cool. I'm going to talk about two very specific pieces of equipment, and both of them hold water while you're racing. And that is your your
Take a turn.
no, it's not that kind of turn. So whatever drink vessel you have for your driving, we usually tend to use water bladders.
Flasks.
I won't flasks. No. I mean like the ones in the car.
Camelback is what we think.
Camelback, exactly. I was trying not to use the brand name because they didn't pay for us. Sorry. So yeah, so your Camelback water bladder, whatever it is, you've got to get them dry. You've got to take them apart. I spin the tubes over my head like I'm at a rave party or something. You got to get it all out. Take the bite thing out. Stuff it filled with paper towels. Get those suckers dry, or you will grow mold. Some people freeze them. I've never done this myself, but I hear they just store them in the freezer between races, so nothing can go.
I want to add into that, Jeff, because the Camelbacks were a big thing when we were all deployed to the desert, and mold was and you'd have some guy just over the course of a couple days wouldn't keep his Camelback clean, especially if you put anything besides water like Gatorade in it.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, they're like, "Oh God!" and like they just inhaled a chunk of black mold.
Yeah, they're totally gross.
Yeah, it's gross. So yeah, spend some time and clean those things out because they get gross in a hurry.
Camelback makes little cleaning tabs that you can put in.
Yes,
and
I was going to mention
around.
that next.
Sorry.
They taste. That's fine. They taste a little bleachy, but they work. Try 'em out.
Camelback also sells like all of the parts. I know we've already just pushed them. but
Camelback, just sponsor us for Pete's sake.
So they have like we lost our bite valve because that's an easy thing to lose when you're driving the car, and then all of a sudden, I don't really have a bite valve anymore. So we bought a package of them, so we have replacements, which is kind of helpful. Yeah. And I'm wondering if with the freezing thing, I feel like you might end up that it may not last as long. I could see that like like we're talking about freezing, unfreezing, I feel like that kind of thing that might make tears or something like that.
I assume you do it when it doesn't have any water in it. It's just really freezing the little droplets that are in it.
You don't fill it. Oh, okay.
So there's another item of equipment you have that's filled with water, and it's your cool shirt. And I always take an air pump and I bite valve the one side and put an air pump on the other side and blow my cool shirt dry. I also hang it for a while, dry it, hang it upside down for a while, dry it, and all that. And I noticed because one time I took Chris's home. Chris does not do this on a regular occasion, and his tubes are blacker than black. They're blacker than my soul this week. They are so disgusting. I don't know. Now,
They're
I understand.
so black you could store your driver's suit in them along with your crushed hopes and dreams.
Right. Yes, you never drink that water, but man, it could clog. I don't know. It looks disgusting.
And I actually do drain that at times. It's a pain to do. So I try to get it. I get most of it out, and then I go and fix the car or something. I don't know.
On this subject, no, I won't jump in. Just on this subject, my comment is that if you don't want to know what's inside, get one with black hoses. Mine has black hoses, so I don't really know what the inside looks like.
When Chris started out with the "I actually do," I actually thought he was going to say, "I actually do drink the water out of my cool shirt."
I don't know. I think Chrissy got really, really desperate. She might, because if Chrissy goes without water for more than half
I
hour,
might unhook it and be like, oh, I needed water.
she's like SpongeBob when he goes into the squirrel's house. So thirsty.
My eyes fall out. Totally.
That's
All right,
awesome.
Jeff, you have a couple more.
Yeah, I
things.
got a couple more
The
items.
rest of us are like 9 beers into the morning. We haven't drank anything that didn't have alcohol in it for 72 hours. Like, what? We're good.
Not me. I drink a lot of water.
Get in the
But
car.
anyway,
I'm out here.
So let me tell you about a couple of other things. Chris, I do want to mention that I did change the tires on the old Ombre there, but 2 of the S10 tires I think somehow went with you. So I only have the old wheels on.
And maybe they're under
No.
one of your 17 Honda
I
engines.
don't have them. Nope.
How do we get them home?
I don't know. I'm missing 2 of the S10 tires.
Yeah. No, they're
Yeah.
in your pocket. Check them in your pocket. Just
We
check
don't
your
have.
pocket.
We don't have any of
They-
them.
Check Did
Man.
you check the pockets of your
No,
driving suit?
Yes, I'll
I
check the
bet-
pockets of my driver's seat. That's probably where
No,
they
I'm
are.
Are they
talking-
on?
I'm
Are
talking
they
to
on
Chris
the
and Chrissy.
wheels?
That's how they took them. That's how they stole them.
No,
They
mental.
put 'em in their pocket.
These are the depleted uranium steel
I
wheels.
know. I remember the boat. I'm being smartass.
So there are other winter projects. One thing is we're repairing and fixing our fast fills. We already mentioned that we have lots of different kinds of fast fills. So new caps are getting rebuilt over this winter. Trailer storage is getting built over the winter. So there's a lot of like building projects that you really need to do during the winter because they take time. You got to take all the crap out of your trailer to build storage stuff. And my favorite thing is surfing the Craigslist there for pit transportation and our next IOE build. Very important winter projects.
Yeah, how's the Jazzy? Is the Jazzy still running, or did the Jazzy finally die?
No, the Jazzy's fine. I just
Okay,
get
excellent,
annoyed
excellent.
with dragging it in and out of the basement and taking up so much room in the Suburban.
In the truck.
Like if Jeff wants to leave it in the trailer now that he's got the trailer, and Jazzy can just permanently live in the trailer, and that's totally fine with me.
That's not a
And,
bad.
on that note, though, and we should talk about this because our 3-pedal mafia teammates Bruce and Greg, they're pretty good about trailer maintenance. And winter's a good time because you don't want to think about those wheel bearings when you're halfway.
Wheel bearings. Check.
You
your
don't want to think
tires,
about
absolutely.
trailer brakes, that kind of stuff. You don't want to think about that when you're halfway to Summit Point going down through the mountains of West Virginia.
Very good.
Or New Hampshire. Right? Was it New Hampshire? No, it was Thompson. We had trailer brake problems on the way to Thompson. Took one of those stupid back roads, and it was very scary.
Well, that's why having an overkill tow vehicle like a 3/4 ton Suburban for towing a Honda on an open trailer is nice sometimes.
Pshaw, 1,500 is plenty.
Sure, until you blow the transmission. By the way, Mental, I've never checked the bearings on the Half Magic ever. You might want to look into that.
Oh yeah, no, there's the whiteboard in the garage is of trailer crap that needs to happen.
Chrissy, I know.
It's a long
Chrissy,
list.
We got main topic.
It's a
Why don't
long
you
list.
finish up
Well,
our
no,
main topic here?
Before we get.
No. Mental's just going to keep talking.
Yeah,
right
no.
now.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we forgot to introduce this last week when Vicky saw the Half Magic trailer and she coined a new phrase that we would like all of our listeners to start using. She called it a piece of jank.
Appropriate.
That was the joke.
Wait.
That actually would have been funnier if I didn't cut Chrissy off to make that joke. Sorry,
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Yep.
Sorry, I apologize.
It was
Finish
even
up
less
the
funny.
main topic. Let's go.
I don't have much. Basically, I handle the pit, so I have a whole bunch of boxes that, especially at the last race, we always end up throwing food and whatever is around, and just like throw it in a box so we can get in the truck and go away. So it's really important to go through all of those. The one year I missed something, and I had somebody else digging through one of the boxes, and they're like, "Yeah, everything on the bottom was moldy." So really not fun. And that can even just be if you're kept in the dry place in like the basement where we keep our stuff, it still can get gross with
7
crumbs and
engines.
stuff. Just 3, 2,
And
whatever.
you just
we're
want
up
to avoid
Actually, no,
you want to avoid science
I-
experiments over the winter. Unintentional science
Yay.
experiments. If you want to, that's different.
to. Mold always
Mold.
wins.
Mold in your suit. Mold in your.
So no, like because you guys have a lot of race-specific cooking utensils. There's race-specific crock pots, the coffee pot, this sort of thing. So is there anything you put into it, or do you just scrub them and then put them in Rubbermaid, or you just scrub them and you've got like special kitchen cabinets?
No, we don't. We leave them out in the box. I don't even think. I think the tops are closed. But basically, when we bring everything home, even if we washed it at the race, we'll put it in the dishwasher. So everything goes in the
call.
dishwasher,
I do
and then
that
we
too.
wash. Go ahead, Chris.
And
Now then, the
Chris,
plastic
go.
bins that we keep them all in, you empty those very nicely and clean them all out. and then put all the clean stuff back in so that it's going away clean, and it's in a sealed container in the basement, so it'll come back clean.
We also have. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to ask probably what you're about to answer, and because you guys are always really, really organized. So is there an inventory process that, okay, this is the breakfast bin, or this is the dinner bin, or this is the crock pot bin, something like that?
Yes, they all. There are 3 different boxes. This could be its own show. I could have the Chrissy, live show. I have one box that has all the random junk and all of the utensils. One has all the food, which is easily cleaned out. I mean, I fill it only for that race, and then it usually comes home. Other than like Gatorade powder, which sits on the pantry, and then the other one has dry goods, so all the paper products. And so my other last thing on this was making sure that even if there's stuff in there, it might be expired by the time we use it, especially over the winter. So we try to keep that.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Great. Chrissy, didn't you have one more thing?
I do. I just thought you wanted to chime in.
Go for it.
Yeah, and I just think, again, going through, we talked a lot about our gear, but make sure that you go through the bag and just triple check that nothing made its way in there. So, like, how about those socks? Did you wear them the last race? I can't remember. Maybe you should just wash them. So
yeah, or you've got a random S10 tire in your helmet bag. You
probably there it is.
Where did this come from?
Actually, that brings up a good time. It's probably a good time to start looking at expiration dates, because there was an interesting on the one of the Lemons Facebook pages about when do the belt for your Hans device, when do those expire? It's stuff you don't think about until you show up and you go to do tech inspection, and Dr. Mom or somebody looks at you and goes, "Yeah, no, you can't race."
Mr. Sog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sam
and there are a few things. Yeah, few things as depressing as Soggy looking at you with his underwear on the outside of his pants, going, "You have failed."
Let's move on to the next
We love
segment.
you, Soggy. We love you,
Soggy. And your bacon. Please put your meat in my mouth. Hella sweeter but terrible time. I think Chris is going to lead this one.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring it to us?
I thought this is an idea that I've been thinking all week, saying, "Gosh, this is both hella sweet and but terrible." So it'd be perfect.
Wait, this is your idea?
Yeah, because I thought it was both hella sweet and but terrible.
Didn't see it until I.
Go ahead. Explain it.
Idea
Those of us can't read the notes.
Is to trade mental the Civic with a good motor in it for the Porsche, and try to make Lemon's first 996. And here's the thought of how to get it budget legal, right? Say we could make a deal. Like I'm a skilled negotiator. He's advertising it for $8,500. Maybe I still get buy it for $7,500. Okay, I think that's a fair market value. So then,
it is.
I will say the cage safety gear. I'll say that's legitimately a $2,500 cage. It's a nice cage.
Oh no! That is not a mail order cage. I
know.
I was gonna cut you off right there. That's a $8,000 cage. I'm not kidding.
It's not.
I'm not exaggerating. No, it's
okay.
legit. It's bad.
Fine.
It's not used. It's never been
Chris
used.
make his case. Let Chris make his case.
Shut up. So let's say it's a $2,500 in safety gear. Okay, great. So that we're now down to $5,000. I think the motor, a running M96, is probably worth $5,000 just as a core practically, because so many of them blow up immediately because they're not really very good motors. So that's $5,000. So now
they're fine motors.
Yeah,
they just have
IMS block
5%,
issues. They dechunk
5%.
They dechunk the blocks. There's way too many issues with the porosity.
109,000 miles on this one.
All right, I'm tired of your noise. So now we're down to 0, and I bet there's some other stuff we could probably sell off the car to get us below 0. Then what you do, is
those wheels. The wheels are ridiculous.
Right, they are. But we'll get some other wheels. We'll get those turbo twist wheels. But we're still in the powertrain. Just let me make my case.
Yeah, mental, shut
Stop
up.
It.
He's dogging my car. I'm going to
Stop
defend
it. Then you buy a crashed Acura CL Type S, and they're on there, and they're out there on Craigslist for under $1,000. And you get your Honda V6 that has 280 horsepower, and you can tune it with Honda data, and it'll all work out nicely, and it weighs less than the Porsche motor, and it's a great time. And you get the adapter plate from Kennedy, because Kennedy makes the adapter to put it on there. So you get a Honda V6 powered, more reliable 996. I think you probably could do it for really close to actual Lemon's budgets for non-safety gear. This is a terrible idea, I think, but I also would love the idea of a Lemon's 996 with a Honda V6.
All right, before Mental chimes in and makes his statement, let me say a few things.
I wish I could mute him on here, but I can't.
So I think this is a fantastic idea with a couple of caveats. I'm going to put it in the hella sweet category, but here's what I'm going to say. It's great, but the motor you've chosen is way too good. The only way to make this really happen is something much more terrible. We need an Iron Duke. We need a 3-liter Iron Duke. We need the 3-liter nautical Iron Duke the Marine Iron Duke with all the torque and none of the horsepower, because we shouldn't walk in, because with that motor, we'd walk away. And that's not our style.
How about a 3.8? Don't we have a 3.8 around?
We do.
Yeah, 3.8.
I was just trying to think of something that I would actually enjoy driving that is really available for these cars with bad trans or crashed are available all over the place for under $1,000, and it's a brilliant motor. So it really would be almost one of the cheapest options we could go for.
Mental, your mute button is still on for one more comment. So I'm also going to say one more thing, that I might like the Honda with the turbo better, and I might prefer it. And the 911 stirs the cockles of my heart and tightens my pants, but I love that Honda. I'm not so sure. I'm not sold yet.
No, I also love the Honda, and the other thing that's been the but terrible part of this is I have not the time nor space to do anything like this, and then we wouldn't be done until like next year. And so,
yeah.
All right,
Chrissy, Mental's gonna go last. You shut your mouth, Chrissy.
I also might be in the same boat with Jeff. I don't know. I don't know how to drive a Porsche. So I'm becoming one zen with my Honda, especially now it's not a giraffe. So I am. And you did a lot of work on it. There's a big part of my heart that has the Honda. So I'm gonna go now.
There's zillion man hours, work hours, Chrissy hours. I don't want to say man and make it, sound like it's gendered, but I don't know how to say it. There's a million work hours
racer
in that
hours.
thing. Racer hours. Yeah.
Wrench time.
But no, it's not all wrench time. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and paint and everything. So
sure.
Okay, let's all hold on a minute. Hold on to our shorts and uncork the mental comment. Go ahead.
All right. Step one. Do you really want me to have that turbo Civic down here? Let's go back.
We wouldn't put the turbo.
Let's go back to the truck.
Put like a V8. We put like a V18B in it and say here, because that's less likely for you to blow up.
There you go. And honestly, B18, that's a twin cam, isn't it? No.
Yes.
No. Let's go back to single cam. Let's be honest here. I love myself.
I have all those parts. That's easier.
Exactly. Yeah. Point two. You would be the third Porsche in lemons.
Yeah, but there's no 996s.
No 996 is true, but and then you got to listen to Soggy send you Facebook messages going, "My Porsche is better than your Porsche." Ask me how I know. And then the other thing is, now they've done the Honda V6 in the back of a Volkswagen Beetle. They did a Lemons Rally, and then they ran it at Barber, and that thing was quick.
Actually, they ran it at NGMP a couple of times too, and put it right in
Yeah, they
right
crashed it.
And
crashed in the wall.
Fabulous.
And now they've done the same thing, except they put it into an old Vanagon, which makes it even more awesome. So it falls apart on there's no way I could maintain the Civic. And then you'd be the first 996, but you wouldn't be the first Porsche. And here's where it all falls apart. Sold it today.
All right.
Well, good for you.
Is it wrong of me to say that I've been searching Craigslist for used trombones just so I could walk around at Lemons and go, $150 is the lowest trombone that I've found on Craigslist.
Seriously?
We need to go to sketchier pawn shops.
Yes.
I do. Yeah. Sketchy pawn shop.
You gotta have some more in downtown Atlanta.
Exactly. It's only got to play like 3 notes.
Mental. Next time you're in New Orleans, someone's got to have a really trash trombone somewhere in New Orleans.
Oh yes, totally.
In a alleyway. Something.
Yes, because I got to get down to NOLA and instruct again. That is a fantastic idea. We need a sad trombone, and we'll paint it to match the Honda.
All right, so that idea was, I think we all can agree, that was both a hell of but terrible and
really
sweet idea. It was a bit of both, and I'm glad that you sold the car so I don't have to think about it anymore.
Me too, so much.
That's great.
Cool.
What's
up with that?
Mental, while you're
before we go to the just the tip, interestingly enough, and we talked about this before the race, one of the offers I got was from where you two live, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, and a guy out of Westchester who owns an auto shop, 610 Auto House. And I want to give him a shout out because he was a really nice guy, maybe a good trade offer that I didn't want. Now, Jeff, put the mute button on and yell at me.
No, you're fine. Why don't we just go on to just the tip? I was going to make another joke, so.
Well, wait, we can't say just the tip. We have to say everyone's favorite segment.
Hello?
Just the
tip.
Hello?
We can hear
Oh,
you,
good?
Chrissy.
Okay. I'm
You're
sorry.
good,
I
go.
thought I had some sound problem. Okay, so it is the off season. So we are talking, how about your fire extinguisher? What is your fire extinguisher looking like now? We're going to talk the Kidde fire extinguisher recall. Recalled in November, 37.8 million affected. I feel bad for them. I understand recalls. It's not good. So the fire extinguisher.
I think that's the one in the RV. Crap, I got to go look at that now.
So this is why we're talking about it. So, and especially since it's off season, take care of it, and I'm going to give you all about what you need to do. So it's easy if you just Google it, but if you want to listen to me tell you, I can do that. Fire extinguisher. It says, this is right from the website, it can be clogged and require excessive force to discharge and can fail to activate during a fire emergency. In addition,
just like just from night.
Sure. In addition, the nozzle can detach with enough force to pose an impact hazard. So it's now time to...
I know I'm sarcastic during a lot of your just the tips. To make clear, so they're saying that the nozzle of the fire extinguisher will become a projectile.
Yep.
Or
Good
perhaps
Sounds like it.
the fire extinguisher could get a projectile, because that happened to Manny and Elmo in the race one time at Thompson. The fire extinguisher came loose, and the top broke off of it, and the thing is just flying around the cabin
You
as
can't
they're
stop
driving.
it when you're in the driver's seat. You can't just stop it. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Let's not interrupt Chrissy anymore while she gives her just a tip mental.
Okay, so now it's the time to figure out if you have the one that is that's for the recall. If you Google it, there's a picture there, and they'll tell you which one it is or it isn't. So that's a good place to start. Plastic handles are the recall. Metal or curved plastic straight handle, recall. Metal or curved plastic, not recall. Vertical pull tab, recall. Metal pin for safety tab, not recall. So there's a couple easy things for you to look at, but really the website has everything. So if you think how you have one, locate and collect your model number, serial number, date, code, blah, 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 all the stuff that's on there. And then you go to the Kidde website for the recall, and they have everything in like pictograms, like everything is like super easy to figure out if you have it. And then you want to go and fill out that online form, and they'll send you a new one. When you fill out the online form, tell them I've got this one. They'll confirm. They send you a new one, and then you send the bad one back in the box. You put a label on it, tell them, and then one of the labels to say that this is hazardous material. Put that on there, and yeah, so it's pretty. We did it with one of our two in our garage, and it was really easy. Somebody want to say something? I have other things, but go ahead.
No, that's actually good on the company. It sounds like they did it right.
It's always great to have an extra fire bottle around, too, because even if you have a fire system in your car, what if some drunk fool pulls that handle, and now what are you going to do? So that's why, like the one that we just replaced, when we bring to the race, that's the one we use for fueling. We also have a bracket around that attached to a piece of flat stock so that we can use for the car.
Are you reading the notes? This is the next paragraph. Okay, so
you were done. I'm sorry.
No, you all are chomping at the bit because you want to say something. We always don't forget to check the one kitchen, garage, boat. Hey, if you have a boat, don't forget that one. Maybe you have one in the basement with your race gear that we put everything else in the race gear. RV, yes, mental said so. But Wakeman, I think yours is bad.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's discharge. It's not just because it's the Kidde one. But anyway, look at all of them, and now's a really great time to just get new ones. And we got our Kidde one from Amazon. I think it was really easy. And yeah. And what I was going to say, even if you have one in your fire system, get an extra one, have it around, use it for fueling.
You can't have too many.
No, not at all.
No.
My old house up in North Jersey had about 1,000 of them. I should have stole them all when I moved out.
1,000? You had 1,000 fire extinguishers?
There were a lot. They were every 4 feet. Guy was definitely scared of fire.
It was Jersey. So
anyway, go ahead, Michael.
Check. Just to be a dork, what's our time right now, Chrissy?
58.
Okay, because Chrissy's going to get mad at me. So I've been burning leaves for about a month now. And so I'm trying to get my leaf pile started.
Redneck alert. Burning leaves.
Redneck alert. So I've got my burn barrel, and I'm trying to get my leaf started, and it's not working. And I pour a little bit of gasoline down there, and then I throw a match. Nothing happens.
Good plan.
Nothing happens. Then the fumes ignite, and it literally blows flaming leaves all over my lawn. So I sprint to my garage, I grab my old trusty fire extinguisher, and I run back up the hill to my backyard where my burn barrel is, pull the trigger, and
nothing. Well, this is awesome.
Exactly. So I had to do this all with a shovel. And so, yeah, make fun of me because, I'm the idiot that almost burned his backyard down because he didn't check his fire extinguisher.
Hilarious.
And there we go. We wrapped up another fantastic episode of Everyone Racers. Thank you for downloading us.
Forget what it was.
I did. No. I had to, my notes weren't ready. I couldn't find my end credits.
Sorry, you've never read this before.
I know. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button on iTunes or wherever you get the podcast. If you have any questions or want to give us some show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers. If you'd like to help us produce the show, donate to the cause at patreon.com/Everyone Racers. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up unless there is no shiny side, like all of Sog's vehicles, and then just keep the wheels down.
Stay safe. Bye.